It is Monday, June 15th, 2020, and you are tuned into DIRTRACKR Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. As I was putting my notes together for the show, I was actually trying to think of something to say about Kyle Larson and his run this kind of past week plus. But I've got really nothing other than to say that this guy has just been incredible. In his last 6 World of Outlaws races, he has 3 wins and 2 seconds. His last 4 All-Star races were 3 wins and a second. Since Knoxville in May, his average finish between the 2 series is 3.2, including sweeping this past weekend at Knoxville with the World of Outlaws. After his run the previous week with the All-Stars, we all expected him, I think, to be pretty fast. But once he kind of got into the features both nights, he just kept getting better and better. On Friday, he came from 6th and was leading by lap 10. He was never really challenged after that. On night 2, he started 4th and inherited the lead when leader Darren Pittman tangled with the lap car of David Gravel. He briefly lost the lead to Brian Brown after that, but took it back by lap 14 and then drove away for the sweep. I talked about this last week about his upcoming schedule, including jumping into Indiana Midget Week competition with the USAC National Midgets. It's almost a shame to see him get out of a sprint car for a few days at this point. He's just been so much fun to watch, and not that he won't be fun to watch in a midget, but man, what a run he's been on. Just incredible stuff. Last week with the All-Stars, now jumping back with the Outlaws. And running second, just being a factor every single night. It's been really, really entertaining to watch Kyle Larson run a sprint car here the last several weeks. Looking over the Outlaw weekend, the points didn't change a whole lot following the 2 nights. Brad Sweet still leads the standings with Schatz second, 24 points back, and Logan Schuchart third, 40 points back. Schuchart had a bunch of issues on Friday night. They ended up changing an engine, and they didn't get out to qualify, and had all these issues. They ended up needing a provisional to start the feature. He did manage to hard charge his way up to a 13th place finish, though. Saturday, he was back to where he's been, moving up 3 spots in his heat to make the dash, and then driving from 8th starting position to finish 3rd. Brad Sweet had a 12th and a 2nd, and Donnie Schatz had a 2nd and an 11th. So even with Schuchart stumbling Friday, it didn't really hinder him too much in the standings coming into the weekend. Sweet and Schatz basically had mirror-like weekends, flipping their results Friday and Saturday. So again, not a ton of change at the top of the World of Outlaws series standings. I was bummed for Darren Pittman on Saturday, though. He looked strong out front until that contact with Gravel. He's been battling the last few weeks, was definitely in need of in a good result, and then after that contact, there was damage to the car. He was only able to race his way back to 18th. So looking at the Outlaws going forward, they are back in action this weekend for a pair of shows at the TriState Speedway in Hobbstadt, Indiana, Friday and Saturday night. The World of Outlaws Late Model Series is also back this week. They have a pair of races at Volunteer Speedway in Tennessee. We'll talk about those shows more later in the week. If you want to see full results from the 2 World of Outlaws nights this weekend, you can find those in the analytics section over at DIRTRACKR. I wanted to briefly mention also too, with some updated races now, some updated standings, the changes at the top of the kind of who's hot list have been fairly drastic here the last couple of weeks or so. Logan Schuchart had been up there at the top. He'd just been so good, but a couple of stumbles have actually knocked him out of that who's hot list. So right now, Brad Sweet at the top of that, his average finish right now, 3.8. Donnie Schatz, Sheldon Hodenshield, Carson Macedo, and David Gravel are the other 4 drivers on that who's hot list. So all guys to keep an eye on as we move forward. Jumping over to the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, they ran Friday night at Cherokee Speedway in South Carolina and Saturday at Smoky Mountain Speedway in Tennessee. Ross Bales won the Friday night show at Cherokee, taking the lead from Brandon Overton on the white flag lap after Overton suffered a flat tire. The 2 drivers battled it out over the entire feature, swapping the lead 4 times. And even though he had to settle for 4th, Overton's strong 2020 campaign continued through the weekend. On Saturday night, after Brandon Shepard led the first half of the show, Overton was good again, taking over at lap 27. He held up a strong field en route to his 3rd Lucas Oil win of the season. Shepard had to settle for 2nd, but it was a good weekend as well for the Rocket House car. He took down 2 second-place finishes both nights. Also, another guy running well, a pair of 3rd-place finishes for Jimmy Owens now sees him at the top of the Lucas Oil point standings. He took the top spot from Tim McCready. He now has a 90-point advantage. McCready is back to 2nd. Jonathan Davenport is 3rd. Tyler Erb is 4th, and Devin Moran is 5th. Lucas Light Metals are back this week for 3 shows at Magnolia Motor Speedway. They race Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with all the action streaming live on Lucas Oil Racing TV. Also, who's a series who's been very, very busy lately. We've been talking about them a lot, is the All-Star Circuit of Champions. They continued with their schedule through the weekend with 3 more shows. Friday night at Monarch Motor Speedway, it was all Danny Dietrich. He led all 30 laps en route to his first series win of the season. Corey Eliason and Brock Zierfaus, who have also been strong lately, rounded out the podium. On Saturday at Lone Star, it was points leader Aaron Reitzel's turn to get back to winning. Corey Eliason led the first 9 laps from the pole, but Reitzel took over the lead on lap 10 and drove away to get his 5th win of the season and his 30th career series win. Eliason and Dominic Scelzi rounded out the podium. Funny story at the end of that race, Eliason and Scelzi finished in what was effectively a near tie at the line, with Eliason actually ended up getting credit at the end for the spot by something like it's some insane margin there. But following the race, the two played rock, paper, scissors for the unofficial tiebreaker, they were calling it. And again, tied 3 times playing rock, paper, scissors. So pretty funny stuff there from Eliason and Scelzi. Last night at Chatham Speedway in Louisiana, the All-Stars wrapped up their busy schedule. It was a battle between Dominic Scelzi and Justin Sanders for most of the feature there at Chatham. The two traded the lead 3 times through the 40 laps, with Scelzi taking over on lap 28 for good. Aaron Reitzel did make a late charge, but Scelzi was able to beat him back to the line for his first ever his first ever series win. Reitzel was second, with Sanders third. Leaving the weekend, Aaron Reitzel holds the top spot still in the standings. He leads by 40 points over Corey Eliason. Danny Dietrich is third, Brock Zierfoss is fourth, and Zeb Wise is fifth. The All-Stars are back June 24th at Port Royal Speedway in Pennsylvania. Also in action last night was the USAC National Sprint Cars at TriState Speedway in Hobstadt, Indiana. In the feature, it was all Steven Schnapp. He led all 30 laps to grab his first ever National Sprint Car win. Robert Ballou finished second, with Kevin Thomas Jr. third, Carson Short fourth, and Justin Grant fifth. Justin Grant continues to lead the points there. He has a 15-point margin over Chris Windham. Brady Bacon is third, CJ Leary fourth, and Kevin Thomas Jr. is fifth. Next up for the USAC National Sprint Cars is a stop at Plymouth Speedway on June 26th. Those can all be watched live on Flow Racing. Other weekend open wheel winners include Cap Henry Friday at Attica, Mark Smith again with the USCS at Hattiesburg, Kenan McIntosh with Power Eye Midgets at Lake Ozark, Freddie Raymer at Sealands Grove. Buddy Kofoid won Saturday at Lake Ozark with Power Eye. Freddie Raymer won again at Lincoln. Justin Cox won the 360 show at Placerville. Anthony Macri, after running a bunch of Midwest shows, including with the Outlaws at Knoxville, came all the way home Sunday to win at Port Royal. For a full list of weekend winners, you can check those out at tjslideways.com. Other weekend late model winners include Ashton Winger at Deep South Speedway, Jared Miley at Roaring Knob, and Billy Moyer at West Liberty. You can see a full list of late model weekend winners at dirtondirt.com. Rodney Sanders and Terry Phillips won the Friday and Saturday U.S. MTS races at Cedar Lake Speedway. Sanders stretched out his points lead over Derek Ramirez to 76. Jumping into what I think is a fairly big news item from Saturday. If you missed this, definitely want to point this out and make sure you are aware of this. The World of Outlaws announced 3 upcoming live broadcasts of races on CBS Sports Network. This Saturday Sprint Car Show from TriState Speedway kicks off the schedule with live coverage beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern. They're also going to do a documentary series. They're going to show the NOS Energy Drink dirt documentary, which the name of right now is escaping me. And then they will continue that with 2 more live shows. The World of Outlaws Late Model Series from Lernerville Speedway will be live on CBS Sports Network on June 27th. And then both series will be live from Cedar Lake Speedway on Saturday, July 4th. So for those of you asking for the live dirt racing on TV, you're going to get it. Live TV is a completely different animal, though, than showing racing live on a streaming service. And if you want to see more of it, tune in, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody to tune into this. It takes a ton of extra money. It takes extra people. It takes extra equipment. There's more coordination. All of these things it takes a lot more work to bring live racing to television. And please reward the series. Please reward CBS Sports Network with your viewership of this. The best way to show these networks and sponsors and all this type of stuff to put more live dirt racing on TV is for you guys to tune in. If you want more details on the announcement, visit worldofoutlaws.com. But very exciting stuff. This is great from the World of Outlaws. All of the work they've done with Dirt Vision, to elevate that product over the last couple of years. And now we're kind of back to the point, we're going to get some live racing on TV and all of the work that went in to get the iRacing stuff live. I'm sure that probably has a lot to do with the chance here to put some live racing on television. So make sure you're tuning in and let everybody know to tune in as well. That's the show for this Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope you got a chance to tune into some of the racing. A lot more stuff to talk about this week, a lot more racing to come. So we'll certainly talk about that as the week goes on. You can find DIRTRACKR Daily on Apple Podcasts, Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe, leave a review. You can also watch the show daily on YouTube and Facebook. You can email the show at info@dirttracker.com, and you can follow along at facebook.com/dirttracker, twitter.com/dirttracker, and the website itself, dirttracker.com. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler. Don't forget to sign up for the Dirt Tracker weekly newsletter on the site. That's the show for today. Hope everybody has a good Monday. We will see you tomorrow for more Dirt Tracker Daily.